Now on lot 78, as you can see as you go down this line, we've got a line of coconut trees that we planted to delineate the markers. This lot's a little bit over 2 acres. We have a stream in the back, and as you can see there's plenty of room for the home, lots of fruits and vegetables, and gosh, even if you wanted to keep one of your horses here, that's fine with Grandview, and there's plenty of room to do that. One of the things I really like about the lot is that it's really varied. It's got nice topography, and it's just not boring. You know, it's just not a flat old lot, but it's not real steep either. You can access all parts of it really without any problem. So I'm going to take a little video, maybe do a 360, so you can get a view of the whole lot without me in the picture. This is one of the bushes that have an orchid type of flower on it. Isn't that gorgeous? What beautiful colors this has. Folks, I planted this when it was about this big. Within 6 months, we started having flowers. Now, as you can see, the plants are maturing, and I have several of these along the property line, so it adds a really nice border right along the road. Right behind me here is what most folks in the States I know call a guava tree. You make great guava jelly and all kinds of great things. And here's a mature one. I'll tell you what, my horses love these. They're a very delicious fruit. It's got all kinds of vitamins in it. You know, you just eat them fresh, right off the tree. They're awesome. So this is the kind of stuff that you're going to have growing, and you're going to be able to enjoy within 6 months to a year of planting them. So, thing to be careful of, I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning. You gotta get them before, it tends to have little worms in them. Now, when you're a Tico and you live here, worms just add a little bit of protein. They're just little guys. But you know, my horses don't mind them, and I don't mind them so much either. It's a delicious fruit, and when you make just a fruit drink out of it for lunch or something, very refreshing. So this is another important thing. You'll typically have them on your property anyway, naturally. It's not something you have to plan to grow. My lot right down in front of me has about a dozen of them, and it's just a real abundance of them. Birds and all kinds of critters love them, so keep that in mind. Okay folks, you notice another plant that you can put anywhere here at Grandview that grows perfectly, and that's why I'm taking a little bit more time on this video, not only to show you what lot 78 can be, but some of the ideas that you can use anywhere here in Costa Rica that I think are going to make it a spectacular lot for you. Right here is a plant that we call Media Dia. The reason is, during the daytime, well, it's only about 9:30 right now. Around noon, it's going to close up, so the flowers are going to close. They usually open up in the morning, and as you can see, it really adds a great accent to any areas that may be a little bit difficult to mow. So instead of having to mow these banks, instead of having to have somebody weed whack them, go ahead and plant these around. It makes a beautiful ground cover, and it's just a spectacular way to cover up those areas that you don't want to spend a lot of time and money in, you know, monthly maintenance. So that's a beautiful factor and something that anybody can use here. Here's one of my favorite fruits of all time here in Costa Rica. It's really, really popular at most restaurants for a fresh fruit drink. It's called guanabana. Check this thing out. I mean, it's a tiny little tree, right? You'd think it should have cherry-sized fruits. This is a baby. This is the first year they started producing for me. I planted these about 2 years ago. So these, I got 2 or 3 on this that are getting ready to be mature. It's just delicious. It's so full of vitamins and minerals and all kinds of stuff that's healthy for you. I grew these from seed because one of my neighbors brought one down and they're full of seeds, and you have to take those out to make your juice. And he brought one of these down. It was about this big, and it was only half the amount of seeds that you normally get. So I took those, I planted them, and I made my own trees. Here, after a couple years, they're producing fruit already, and I've had some of these that matured, and it's some of the best guanabana I've ever had. In Jamaica and other Caribbean countries, they call it soursop. So it's popular throughout the Caribbean, but this is a perfect climate for it. And actually, if you want to make a little business of selling these, they get quite a bit per kilo of this stuff. So it's a good money maker too if you want to have a little portion of your property set aside, or just enjoy it yourself and give it to your neighbors. Here's another one of my favorite trees of all time for Costa Rica. That's why I planted them here. It's called carambola, or you probably know it as starfruit. You know, a lot of times they'll put them as a pretty garnish on your plate or something like that, but it's one of my favorite juices, and it's just another one that's full of what God put in there for vitamins and minerals. It's a little past season. I've had quite a few. I mean, I've got kilos and kilos of this stuff that I've already turned into juice, but here's one right on the vine, right on the tree. I mean, it's a beautiful fruit, and I'll tell you what, just by itself, it's a little bit bitter, I would say. Kind of like a lemon, but you know, once you get the first bite or two of lemon in, it's not bad. Same thing with these, so you can eat them right off the tree. Well, that's delicious. Just full of juice. You take these, put them in your blender, that's it. Add a little bit of water, you know, a little bit of sugar. Try to tone down on the sugar a little bit. It'll be one of your favorite drinks for sure. So don't forget to put a carambola on your property. Another thing to keep in mind, I want to assure you that we don't use any pesticides here whatsoever. Typically it's a monoculture sort of idea that, you know, if you're doing the pineapple plantations and the banana plantations, that tends to draw insects for whatever reason. But when you have a healthy variety of things, really bugs here are not an issue at all. Everything I grow here and on my other lot is completely organic, so you don't have to worry about any pesticides, and it's real eco-friendly too. This is one of the favorite spots in the whole property for me. I made sure to, this is called the majo tree. It means May because it has its flowers coming out in May, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful tree that adds a lot of shade. We have this right down next to the house. You want to come there, you're working out in the garden, you just have a hot afternoon and you want to chill, you know, put your picnic area out here or whatever. You got the perfect breezes, plenty of shade. This lot's got it all. My idea was to have just a little picnic area here, maybe even a little kind of gazebo with a couple of hammocks in it, so you can lay out here in the afternoon and just take a nap. You know, I'm getting to that age where naps are a little bit more important. So, no, actually it's just power naps, right? They're not old age naps, they're power naps. The main aspect that I picked this lot for was we're always going to have unobstructed views of the Caribbean. Now, you can see the Caribbean plain out there today, but we've had about 6 or 7 days of rain. Very unusual for this time of year too, but you know, we're not in control of those things. So there's quite a bit of heat and humidity rising up off the Caribbean plain. But as you can see here, we don't have the cloudiness or haziness or humidity either. You know, we got this nice breeze coming in. The most important aspect I was thinking is I will never have anybody's home obstructing my view in any way. As you can see, and you can see from the videos how this platform is laid out, any houses here are going to be below me. So at most, when you're standing on the edge, you may see some roof lines, but you're never going to have an obstructed view. Nobody's going to obstruct your breezes, etc. So we have a really great probably about a 210 degree view here going all around to the mountains in the Caribbean. So that was one of my favorite things. And just to give you an idea, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want on any lot, obviously, but there's enough room to do all we talked about. In regards to the house layout, the reason I made the platform this large is I wanted to be able to come in and put my garage in back of the house. You know, one of the things I never liked is that when you have a straight driveway coming into the garage and the garage is like the focus of your home. I just never saw the sense of that. It's not the most attractive feature. So I laid this out so we can come in around the back of the house with a garage, have maybe a 1,500 square foot, 2,000 square foot home right here. In front we would have a pool with an infinity view, you know, with the infinity edge. So as you're sitting in your pool, you're just looking out over the landscape out towards the Caribbean. That was my idea, and it's really laid out perfect for that. We've got the water in place and everything. Folks, this lot is ready to build. So we have electricity right there at the road. Water's already installed. The lot is already prepared. So there's basically no site prep. You can start building.